In the gospel, when Bartimaeus, the blind man, is crying out to Jesus as he passes by Jericho, the crowds are just telling him to be quiet, Bartimaeus is an embarrassment. He's a man born blind. People think that he's being punished by God because of his blindness. And yet he's crying out, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me. Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." And despite all the efforts of the crowd to tell him just to be quiet, he cries out all the more. And in one moment, Jesus stops and calls Bartimaeus to himself. Bartimaeus, who's a beggar, throws aside his cloak and comes to Jesus. And here's this blind man standing in front of Jesus. Jesus looks at him and he asks him, "What do you want me to do for you?" For a long time in my life, that question from Jesus drove me nuts. Like, Jesus, what do you think he wants you to do with him? He's a blind man. Like, who's the blind man here? I mean, what do you suppose he wants you to do for him? But actually, Jesus' question to Bartimaeus is full of love, full of gentle invitation. Truth is, Jesus knows us better than we know ourselves, but he invites us as we grow in our awareness of whatever is stirring in our hearts to relate that honestly to him, not because he needs a news update. In fact, Jesus knows us better than we know ourselves. But Jesus knows that if we will turn to him with whatever we find in our hearts, the good, the bad, or the ugly, and we will entrust that to him, we'll tell him all about it, we will relate it honestly to him, that our hearts will be open and disposed to receive everything that he desires to give to us. Love, the love that Jesus has for us, is a free gift. Jesus chooses to offer his love to us freely. But as a gift, it needs to be received freely as well. How do I grow in receptivity to the love that God has for me? By honestly acknowledging and then choosing to relate whatever I find in my heart to him. That may sound like a small movement interiorly when I become aware of what's stirring in my heart to choose to turn to God and tell him all about it, especially because he already knows it. But actually, it is a huge interior shift. At any moment in my life, I'm in one of two postures. I'm either turned in on myself or I'm open and relational with God. God, in his desire for us, in his love for us, is constantly inviting us, gently inviting us again and again with persistence. Tell me what's going on for you. He knows that if we take up that invitation, we'll experience the truth that he is with us always, that his love for us is unconditional. He will dispel the lie that so easily creeps into our hearts that we're alone, or I just have to get through this the best I can on my own efforts. When I choose to relate honestly to God, whatever I find in my heart is open and disposed to receive the fullness of his blessing and grace.